Hello everyone and welcome back to Voices of Lichfield District. Today we have a bit of a different style of episode in honour of the Hello Velo event returning to Lichfield and Burntwood. Our colleague George has spoken with Jon Graham, a lead consultant for Street Velodrome. So rather than keeping you waiting, let's hear what they had to say.
Good afternoon, John. How are you?
Very well, George. How are you?
Yeah, all good, thank you. All good. Looking forward to having a chat about the upcoming Hello Velo and Street Velodrome event in Lichfield this next month.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really looking forward to coming back after what was a really successful couple of events last year.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic again, I'm sure. Could you provide a little bit of a background on the event for us, just for those that didn't attend last year, just so they know a little bit about Street Velodrome and Hello Velo as an event and as a company?
Yeah. So as a company, Street Velodrome has been going over 10 years now. It's been through a number of iterations, I think, over those sort of 10 plus years. It was founded, the concept was originally crafted by a guy called Carl Thompson, who was really, really passionate about cycling, which I am as well. I'm passionate about all sports. And Carl's vision was to try and create effectively an outdoor velodrome, which you could pop up and install in some, weird and wonderful places, whether it be town centres or on the coast or anywhere where we can effectively build out the ramps and have a track. We can go anywhere. So that was his vision. He went through a couple of generations of design. We're now on design 2. We're working on design 3. But he was very keen to use Street Velodrome as a bit of a gateway to, I think, connect with families first and foremost, to get children active. The beauty of Street Velodrome is when we come to Lichfield and Burntwood, we come with everything. So with coaches, with track marshals, with bikes, with absolutely everything. So it's free to participate. And it's even kids that can't ride a bike. We've got balance bikes and we've got coaches that will help kids around the course. So for us, it's about being fully inclusive, all capabilities, all ages. It's not just for kids. I absolutely guarantee, we'll see a lot of dads versus lads, dad versus daughter, and mum versus daughter. But there is a rule in Street Velodrome that parents actually can't ever win. The kids remain undefeated in 2024. But just going back to the essence of it, I suppose, yes, it's super important that we really engage with families. It's one of those that I've always said that anything in sport's about creating memories. And that's what we will absolutely do. The children won't forget when they've navigated themselves around Street Velodrome, because it can be quite daunting to start off with. But once they've done a couple of laps, then very difficult to get children off. And I've got no doubt that it'll be the same when we come and visit the good people of Lichfield and Burntwood. But it's also been a professional sport, believe it or not. So Carl was a bit of a speed freak. Loved his F1, loved cycling at a professional level. And Street Velodrome actually was on Sky Sports for a couple of years. So, as I said, he's very much open to all. And from my point of view, Carl sadly passed away a couple of years after just an unbelievably brave battle against cancer. And I was sort of very mindful that Street Velodrome, maybe a few years ago during COVID, it needed a bit of a refresh. It needed a bit of a relaunch. So I just see myself as whilst business owner, but very much a custodian. And it's all about continuing Carl's legacy, doing it justice. And I've got no doubt that we'll do that when we come and see the people at Lichfield and Burntwood.
No, that sounds amazing. Yes, that sounds a fantastic event. Just on the idea of it being portable mobile track. Just so that the residents that didn't attend last year, what's the sort of size that it covers? Just so that people, if they're umming and ahhing about attending, like what's the sort of size of the velodrome?
So the footprint is 30 metres by 10 metres. So the two ends, if you like, where you've got the ramps, they're built into a trailer, a 6.5 metre trailer. Everything's sort of packaged away, if you like. It's a bit like a flat pack, but on a bigger scale. So, sort of fiberglass frame, the bowl, and then, it's very much built out from there. So the build takes about 3 hours to build it. The ramps are probably about 3 meters high, but you will only probably go up about a meter and a half in the actual bowl when you go around the circuit. And if you just envisage, obviously it's Paris 2024 this year. GB always do well in the track cycling when they go into the velodrome. And we're trying to replicate what track cycling is and bring it to the masses. So, the actual physical size of the track, it's no bigger than maybe a tennis court in length and a little bit narrower. And as I've said, we very much make sure that whoever takes part, we get an understanding of capability. So nobody goes on the ramps until they've done a couple of practice laps, which is just around the actual trackway itself. And when the coach is happy that, that we're going to be in good shape for the kids to go and actually tackle the ramp, then we will. But we've got 2 marshals on both ramps, or 1 marshal at each ramp, really. So 2 marshals in total. So when any participant is going to embark on taking one of the ramps on, if they get into any difficulties, then we've always got somebody to support them. So, physically, when you see it, it's like, okay, wow, quite impressive. And, sort of you do get, it's always the children that don't want to take part that eventually do take part. And you, as I said, you just then can't get them off them. So, it's, as I said earlier, this is about getting kids active, getting kids on bikes. Me personally, growing up, which was a long time ago, massively into BMX. Always used to ride to school. When I was at university, used to ride to uni because I lived quite a way away. And, it's the freedom that it gives you. And, it's such a, it's a cracking sport to get involved with, but also it doesn't need to be that serious. But, you can quite easily fall in love with cycling and just, from a child's point of view, it just gives you that freedom. And also, you need to be relatively fit as well. So in this day and age where there's, lots of challenges around what children are eating, sort of staying behind a console or staying on the phones, what Street Velodrome will give them is that thrill of speed. Yeah. How fast they go is up to them. And it tends to be, when you get to sort of lap 2 or 3, then the confidence levels go up. And then that's where, personally, I make sure that the track marshals have got eyes on, because confidence versus speed, that's when it gets interesting. But, as I said, it's not, there's plenty of safety measures in place to make sure that the kids, whatever happens, have a fantastic time.
Yeah, no, it sounds amazing. I mean, I'd quite like a go.
Will you be on there? You'll be on there. So we always, I'll talk about some of the events we've already done this year, but we've had multiple people that are working for local authority and councils taking part. It's been a bit of a mixed bag. There've been some superstars and some that, one in Dublin in particular, got a bit brave and came to a sticky end, but she was fine, got back on and away she went. So I'll hold you. This is being recorded, George, so I will absolutely hold you to that commitment.
I'll get the GoPro on as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So where have you been so far this year? You mentioned Dublin just then, but where have you been so far?
So Street Velodrome's got quite a long history in Ireland. Ireland as a nation have something called Bike Week, which tends to be middle part of May. So we were out there from around about the 9th of May for a couple of weeks, and it took us to Dublin, to Wicklow, to Carlow, and just sort of, deploying the event. We were very fortunate with the weather because Ireland and May can be quite wet, but we only had a few drops on the Saturday morning on one of the weekends, but nothing major. In Blanchardstown in Dublin, the council had just spent a significant amount of money on tarmacking an area of a park, which was all about trying to get kids on bikes. Quite a new space, and it was the first event that actually run since that had been opened. So from a build perspective, it was a dream because it was super flat on tarmac, and we got that up no problem at all really quickly. And, towards the latter part of the afternoon, we were absolutely swamped. And the feedback has been super positive. As I said, the weather was kind. And then we moved on a few days later to Wicklow at Blessington. Did an event with a couple of schools. So had 150 kids on the Friday, all of mixed ages, all mixed abilities. That was really good fun. As you can imagine, very competitive amongst kids that are in the same class. The teachers got involved. It does bring people together. I mean, it sounds a bit cheesy, but, I've always likened Street Velodrome to, it's that sort of, if you liken it to a console game, it's the playability. Once you're on there, you absolutely love it. And when you see people having such a good time, that's what brings families and kids, what's going on over there, love to get involved, love to have a go. Then on the Saturday in Blessington, it was open as a sort of bike week stroke, sort of an activity-based event. So there was spin bikes there. There was face painting for the kids. There was some rock climbing. There was all sorts of stuff. So, Street Velodrome is either a standalone event or it's a bolt-on to, bigger events, and it works pretty well in both. I mean, I am going to say this, but and to be fair, they said it as well. Street Velodrome was probably the most engaging part of that event, which is great for us. And again, some super positive feedback. And then we finished off down in Carlow at a university down there, massive sports complex, like huge. It's just really, really impressive. It's the first event they put on at that uni for the local community. It was very hot, which was nice, and just had the best, just the best day. And again, the feedback has been really strong. So I've got an amazing team. Max, who's our sort of pro coach, pro rider. I mean, he's been involved since the outset of Street Velodrome. He knows it upside down and inside out. There's Jamie, who he got involved last year. Great fun. He'll be the guy that's sort of helping manage the queue, having a chat with parents. Just, I guess, giving the kids the confidence that they can do it. Just a top guy. Charles, who I've worked with for many years. He was over in Dublin. He'll be coming to Lichfield and Burntwood. So lots of happy faces, lots of people that love the event, that are running the event. I think that makes a big difference. If you really enjoy what you're doing, then I think that comes across to the people that are going to take part. Yeah,
absolutely. So moving on, we might have already sort of covered this in an earlier question, but what can the residents of Lichfield District expect from Street Velodrome when they attend?
So, unfortunately for the good people of Lichfield and Burntwood, they'll hear my voice quite a lot as MC. So we come with music. We try and have a bit of fun with it. We try and make it not super competitive because it just depends. If it's a dad v lad, it's going to be competitive. But we will temper that with, there's very clear guidelines how to get the most out of your lap. And it isn't just about going absolutely hell for leather. It's like lots of things in sport. It's down to the technique.
Yeah.
And Max will certainly highlight what the best technique is. And again, like lots of things, the best technique is the safest technique. So when you look at the ramp, there'll be a white line that goes halfway around the bowl. And if you can focus on that to start off with, maybe go a little bit higher than that, but not too much higher than that, the momentum of your pedaling on the approach will get you rounds. And then after that, you can build your confidence. So I think what people can expect is a safe event, a fun event, and something that, as I said, the kids will 100% remember for a very long time. And as I said, that's the essence for me. I've not got any ambition to make this a professional sport, because I think we're going to have more fun touring the country and sort of getting families involved and young children involved than, breaking into elite sport, because, there are velodromes now around the country. And if you're really into your cycling, hopefully this can be a gateway for kids that want to progress onto that, because they'll still get the same feeling. So I think, from an expectation point of view, I think the beauty is, and I think a lot of local authorities and councils are criticised in this country, but obviously Lichfield have put this event on last year and this year, and that's all down to their commitment to the community, and they should be 100% praised for that. So anybody that turns up, what they can expect is to have a fantastic experience and not spend any money. And again, with cost of living, and I'm a dad of two myself, albeit they're a little bit older than maybe the kids that will take part at the weekend upcoming. To be able to take your kids out and have a memorable day without necessarily putting your hand in your pocket to do it, I think is testament to the commitment from Lichfield Council. And there's a lot to be said for that. So our commitment is that we put on a good show, and that a lot of families go away with happy children, probably tired children after they've been round. They certainly sleep well after it. And yet, and something a bit different. It's not football, it's not rugby, it's not cricket. It is something different. So I would urge people to come down and give it a go. As I said, it's super safe. That's always at the forefront of everything that we do. So, they can expect a bit of fun. And I know there's, various concessions knocking around on the day, food and a few drinks and whatever. So, I think, and at the right price, because I know that the event organisers have been very keen to make sure that, everything's affordable on the day, albeit obviously Street Velodrome's free.
Yes, that's perfect. Sounds like the perfect event.
Well, let's hope so. All we've got to do now, George, is book the weather, and then we'll be fine. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
But we'll have a bit of fun. We've got some obviously all bikes of all shapes and sizes, so it caters for children of every age. And as
that was going to be something I was going to ask, actually. So, is all the equipment provided by Street Velodrome? Yeah,
100%. All the bikes have been serviced locally to me. I'm fairly local in just Warwickshire, so they were serviced 6 weeks ago. So all good to go. Helmets provided. And as I said, that's one of the barriers to any sport is equipment. Obviously, we'll have everything, and for the children that want to have timed laps and be competitive, we'll do that as well. We'll have some age group racing, but again, as I said, it's all about gauging. Not this for a lot of children, the majority of children. It's about taking part and getting round. That is an achievement. Because as I said, when you look at it, it's like, okay, when our coaches are on it and the staff are going around the velodrome, then obviously they're very experienced and they go pretty quick. But it's not about that. We had 2 children in Blessington, down in Wicklow a few weeks ago. They couldn't ride a bike. They were probably, 11, 12. And we got them on a bike and we just sort of helped them round. So, we don't there is no, if anybody wants to have a go, it doesn't matter whether you're 3 years old, 80 years old, everybody's welcome. Everybody can have a go. There's no pressure to do it in 20 seconds. You probably get more of a buzz for the children that are started off with maybe a little bit shorter confidence, but then they come out and they've had, the smile on their faces is better than the fastest lap of the day, So,
yeah, really rewarding sort of thing.
Yeah, and as I said, growing up, and you're probably the same, George, when you get people, maybe athletes come into your school, or, you go to a football, sport's about creating memories. Absolutely. If you can get involved in the sport, and obviously everybody will be involved that turn up, then, that's a memory they'll take away from that day. And as I said, that's testament to the council investing their time and energies into partnering with us to make that happen. So I would just encourage as many people to come along on Saturday to Lichfield and Sunday to Burntwood to experience it. And I'm sure we'll have a good time.
Yeah, brilliant. The next point, I think we've sort of already covered this, because the next person, I noticed on your website, it says the world's most accessible live cycling event. So I was going to ask you to sort of elaborate on that, but I suppose you've already sort of covered that in terms of it's for everybody, isn't it? But I don't know, was there anything else that you wanted to add to that? Like I say, we've already sort of covered the...
I think for me, it's obviously where we're going to be. Certainly, we're in the same place as last year in Burntwood at the Leisure Centre. Lichfield, we've moved to Beacon Park, which I think there's going to be a lot of people that will just be there anyway, and I think I just encourage people that are curious to come over and have a look, because, as you rightly say, it is the most accessible cycling sport, if you like, because even though there's a track and there's ramps involved, it's not like a BMX track with a half pipe where you've got to do some sort of inverted, flip or whatever. It's just as simple as follow the instructions. You haven't got to get a huge amount of speed up. And then as you go along, you build your confidence up. And I think for parents, maybe with children that are a little bit short on confidence in general, super rewarding to see the children on it and just grow. And again, we've seen that, in the multiple events that we've done over in Ireland a few weeks ago. And from an event manager point of view, owner, call it what you will, as I said, it's those memories that do make it worthwhile. And as we go into post Lichfield Burntwood, we're looking to take it into Europe, and when we get into 2025, plenty more events. So as I said, really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it sounds like you've got big plans for it then going forward as well. Yeah. So, carry on, sorry, John. No,
I big believer in most things that are successful. It's pretty simple. Now, Carl came up with the concept all those years ago. And look, let's be honest, if it was easy, everybody'd be doing it. So he's come up with something that is pretty unique. But now once it's built, you look at it and say, okay, well, that is pretty straightforward. And, once people are out, you're not going to get anybody going on Street Velodrome and come off saying, I didn't enjoy that, or that was boring, because it just doesn't happen. So again, big believer in once we can get, so we've already had some amazing events already this year. We'll no doubt do the same at Lichfield and Burntwood. And then beyond that, it's just spreading the word. And, we would encourage anybody that takes part over the 2 days coming up that any photos they take, any videos they take, if they just tag us in at the Street Velodrome, across all of our social platforms, that it just helps to spread the word. And, that's
for us. Where can people find you on social media, John, just to plug?
So, obviously Facebook, Instagram, we are about to embark on the foray into TikTok. Haven't quite personally, because I'm of an age, haven't got there just yet, but we've got social media and content exec Chloe that's a lot younger than me, that's for sure, and gets that world. And I think Street Velodrome is absolutely prime for that platform. So, but yeah, on Twitter, just Street Velodrome. On Instagram, Street Velodrome UK. We're on Facebook. So yeah, any of those and all of those platforms, then, any experiences and feedback, videos, photos, then yeah, we'd encourage everybody to share those. And, yeah.
Sounds great. So on a final note, before we wrap up, I don't keep you for any longer, because I'm sure you're very busy with the events that you've got lined up. Where can we find you when you come to Lichfield District, and what are the dates?
So Beacon Park in Lichfield, and that is Saturday the 29th of June. We are starting at 11 and we're wrapping up around about 4. And then the following day, Burntwood Leisure Centre, same times. So yeah, we'll be there for the majority of the day. And as I said, free to take part. So, we hope that the weather will be kind. I'm sure by the end of June it will be. And yeah, just looking forward to seeing everybody. And yeah, I've got no doubt that, as I said, there'll be lots of memories created, which is what we're all about.
Fantastic. And if anybody is looking for any more information from what they've listened to today, there's pages on the Lichfield District Council website. We're promoting on the LDC social media channels as well, and the Street Velodrome website. Do you want to add that in, John, as well, in case anybody else?
Yeah. So streetvelodrome.com. We're just uploading the details of the various events, and obviously these two being part of that. So yeah. And just on social media, there's going to be a load of content that's going up over the next sort of week to 10 days as we build up to the event.
Fantastic. And I'll include links to all those that we've just mentioned in the description below on the podcast or on YouTube if you're listening on YouTube. Fantastic. That's brilliant. Right. Thanks for your time, John.
Thank you, George. And remember, bring the GoPro, because you will be taking part. It's there. You said it, not me.
I said it now, yeah.
So there you go.
Fantastic. Thanks for your time, John.
Okay, no worries. Okay, bye.
Well, that was definitely interesting. I just want to say a big thank you to Jon for joining us here to chat all things Hello Velo. I hope today's episode has inspired you to get on your bike this summer, whether it's to race or just have a leisurely ride with friends and family. And remember that Hello Velo is happening on the 29th of June at Beacon Park, or on the 30th of June at Burntwood Leisure Centre. For more information, visit Lichfield District Council's website. Thank you for listening, and see you next time. Bye.